On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan buys a lot of games and Tony drops in on Amazon's new game. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your question. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
I am petting a cat with my foot.
You should probably use your hand to do that.
I don't want to lean over and pet her with my hands when she's that far away.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes some sense. Is it raining over there?
It was up until like an hour ago.
Okay. So you're sending it our way now, then, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it was going your way to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing.
Well,
I'm just sharing the fun.
About the time the show ends, it might get here.
Let's see, it took an hour.
No, it'll be a little while before it would.
It'll probably be tomorrow.
Yeah, it was supposed to have started raining already here, according to the weathermen, but they're notoriously liars, so can never believe.
You can't call them a liar. They're just doing their job, man. They're using science to try to predict the weather. They're like, okay, we believe it's going to do this, and you should be expecting this percentage of rain.
Yeah, they're using science to predict the unpredictable.
Exactly, the unpredictable, because you can't exactly expect it to do what you want it to do. Things happen, and, don't blame your weatherman just because he predicted rain and it didn't rain. It's not a reason to... Wow, I got way too serious for this, didn't I?
You went straight to the defense of the weatherman.
I'm really, really sick and tired of people complaining about weathermen. Like, oh, they never get it right. Those blah, blah. It's like, you don't need to use those words, dude.
They get it right sometimes.
Oh.
So.
I apologize for my rant, but it had to be said.
Instead of talking about the weather, you bought a lot of games this week.
Oh, man, did I ever. Actually, I bought the 5... I'm talking about 5 games specifically, but I've bought more than 5.
I have played all 5 of the games that you're talking about, too.
I have played 0 of the 5 games I'm about to talk about.
Well, you are in for a treat, sir.
And just to clarify, although we say there's 5, there's actually 7, but there's only 5. Keep that in mind. So, you remember Super Mario RPG and how much I just love talking about that game when given the chance?
Yeah.
And I really like the first 2 Super Mario or Super Paper Mario games.
Okay.
64 and Thousand Year Door, yeah.
Paper Mario 60, yeah.
I don't like them as much as Mario RPG, don't get me wrong. They're really good games, but Mario RPG is kind of the top of this barrier here.
See, I would disagree.
Yeah. So, I was watching Spike Vegeta playing some Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story a while back.
Okay.
And then, he beats it, then the next day, the Yeti's like, hey, here's a Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story shirt. And I am flubbing my words right now. Great. Let me take a drink real quick to fix this.
So
not even mutant, just you get all the noise.
That game in particular is really good because you get to fight against Kaiju Bowser, and it's fantastic.
I think you get to fight as Kaiju Bowser.
Well, you get to be Luigi.
You get to be Luigi in all these games, don't you?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Point is, it looked really fun watching him play this game that I've never played. And then I went and watched... right, Yeti had a shirt from the same game next day. That was pretty cool. And then I didn't buy the shirt. And then I was like, I want to see what's in the first game. I want to see how much of a hurdle it would be for me to enjoy this original Game Boy Advance game. So I watched a speed run. It looked really fun. They mentioned uh, how good the music was, and I'm thinking this sounds very Super Mario RPG esque because it's the same composer.
There you go.
And I'm like, that guy did an amazing job with Super Mario RPG. Although it's not the same game, it it looks like I might enjoy it, and I'm really gonna enjoy the music. So I was like, I can play this game, and I know it came out on 3DS as a remake, or not a remake, a
Mhm.
re-release, something.
It's a remake.
It's a re-release with added content on newer systems. Sound better?
There you go.
Okay. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get that because I don't want to, have to bust out a Game Boy Advance system to play Game. What was it? Retron 5. I don't want to bust that out just to play a Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah.
And I don't have one of those Game Boy Advance consoleizers.
Well, the 3DS version of the game is uh, the
Uh,
best
I,
version of
I can argue that one thanks to speedrunners now from their knowledge that they dropped in that video. It's also on Wii U apparently,
it. Yes, it is.
but I'm not going to do that. So I went out of my way to buy the 3DS version, which includes a additional side story thing on there that you can play.
Hmm.
Uh, it's kind of a throwaway thing. It has nothing that really interferes with the main game, so I can ignore it completely and just enjoy the base game. But from there, we have additional games that go into. I think what was there two of them on, or one of them on Game Boy Advance, and then it moved
It moved from the GBA to the DS.
okay, so then it's like I think Bowser's Inside Story is the next one, right?
No, Partners in Time.
Okay, Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story. Those are on DS, and then we have Mario and Luigi Dream Team and Paper Jam on 3DS.
Hmm.
So that's covering three different console generations there, or handheld console generations. But I've bought I bought four of these games for 3DS and one for DS at this point.
You can play the entire series on the 3DS at this point.
Yes, which leads me to think that we'll probably see a Mario and Luigi Partners in Time 3DS copy as well sometime.
I doubt
It's
it.
like, well, we got to get them all the same thing, right?
Well, it's playable on the 3DS, so I don't think Nintendo's going to go ahead and re-release
Well,
that.
I don't know. Bowser's Inside Story, man.
Well, yes, that is true, but the 3DS is dead.
You admit it.
I've been admitting it for a long time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to find my charge cable for my 3DS and charge it up. So yeah, I'm waiting on the first game to come in. I have the other four in hand at right now. It's like right here in front of me.
Hmm.
So really happy with that. They're all sealed copies. I didn't think I was getting sealed. I thought I got used, but whatever. Like they're factory sealed copies from the looks at it.
Well,
Uh,
I think personally that
oh,
those two.
cell phone.
What should
Cole
you?
Cole was texting back finally.
I think those two games on the DS are the best of that series. So, Bowser's Inside Story and Partners in Time are my two favorite.
Really glad I muted my phone because he's texting again and again.
He really needs to get a hold of you.
Uh oh my gosh, Tony.
What?
He's got one, two. He says he's got 9 powder kegs on the sloop.
Oh my gosh.
It says this can only go well.
Yeah, that's going to end in glorious fashion. That's what we needed to end the stream on Wednesday.
Oh man, that would have been amazing, but I don't know where to find a bunch of those. Actually, I
Um,
do know where to find a bunch of those. It's kind of a pain to do it though. But I've seen Lang and he posted like a quick video or a GIF or something of him and a friend blowing up a boat, and you just see all these chain explosions going around an island, and it hits the boat, and boom, bam, gone.
nice. Nice. I ended up playing that this morning for about 2 hours and made 20 G's um, in gold. I had to redo the
Shroud Breaker.
Shroudbreaker mission by myself. So
Why is that?
I don't know that when I went to the Tall Tales, that's the only one it would let me do.
Weird.
So it did for some reason. I don't know if it's because you had started it the other day or what. It
Should have
would not
counted for
let me.
all of us, but
It made me redo that one over again. Thankfully, I knew exactly what to do. Uh,
what Tony's
but yeah,
saying is that although we're done streaming the game, we're still playing it.
oh yeah, we are. We are. My
Oh
youngest son
gosh,
is very interested in playing that game now, so I'll
I
probably
still
be
have like
playing.
3 videos of that to upload too. Oops.
So, well, any other Mario and Luigi stuff to talk about?
I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Hopefully, it's fun, and I hope there isn't another game announced in the meantime, or a whole collection being released on Switch or something. Because
That that
that would be the one takedown from this if that happens.
oh man. Well, we know the next Mario RPG game that's coming out is a Paper Mario game, so it'll be a little while before we get another Mario and Luigi game.
I still say we need a proper either remake or sequel to Mario RPG in claymation, like that Kirby game, but like a little better looking. I think that'd be adorable and
I
fun.
would want it to get rid of the diagonal movement and just go.
No, I would want it to have the full directional movement, not just diagonal. That, yeah,
See, I'd be okay with up and down and left and right, just 90 degrees. No, none of this 45-degree angle stuff.
that's fair. That's fair.
So,
But then
and the
again, we also
Mario,
have joysticks now, so
that's true. Full 360 movement would be the best.
ooh,
Um,
camera controls in the battle where you can just kind of pan around and look at it.
that'd be cool.
Ooh. And keep that diorama looking set so that way you have like the nothing background going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
But Mario and Luigi has my favorite villain from any video game series of all time.
Fawful.
Fawful. That
I
is going to be the most fun that you get out of those games.
I still don't know what a chortle is.
Well, Fawful will teach you something about
I
children.
think Bowser asked him what that is, and he just ignored him and kept going. And then it was never mentioned again throughout the rest of that playthrough. So great. This is very confusing to me on what a chortle is.
Well, we know a chortle is just a laugh, but you know,
Oh, he has laughs. Okay,
yes,
he's weird.
he is a little weird.
So
So,
yeah, Mario and Luigi diving full on in there for a series I've never played.
if you're gonna,
It's a Nintendo
start.
game. It's an RPG with like like an actiony RPG kind of thing going on there. So I'm sure I'll be fine and love it.
Oh, I think so.
What have you been playing, Tony?
I have been playing the newest game from the biggest developer, Amazon.
Newest
You know,
game, biggest developer.
that is, Amazon when you think of top tier developers, it's, Bethesda, BioWare, and Amazon.
I thought you
That
were gonna throw Google in there somehow.
No, they don't make games. They just stream games.
Oh,
So,
right.
so now I have been playing Crucible from Amazon's Game Studios. I don't remember exactly what the name of the studio is called. Uh,
Okay.
but this is the newest free to play team based shooter that they pull elements from MOBAs, third person shooters, uh, Overwatch type stuff. It's Overwatch, Paladins, a little bit of League of Legends thrown in. They just kind of throw it all into a blender, mix it up, and spit out a game. And that game was Crucible. There are 3 different game modes that you can choose from right now. So it's not just, it's not a battle royale. You just drop in and last man standing win. Um, they do have a battle royale type mode, and I do not remember what the name of the modes are right off the top of my head. But they have one mode that is their battle royale where they drop 8 teams of 2 into the map, and the last team standing wins, basically. Um, but
Isn't that called Team Deathmatch?
it's not really, no, because there's no respawns with that. So once you're dead, you're dead. Um, but the one wrinkle they put in on this is that if your teammate dies, you can actually temporarily ally with another player who's lost their teammate, and so you form a sort of impromptu team, um, and you can then work together to try to take out the rest of the teams. But you've got to keep in the back of your mind that you're not actually on the same team. So one of you is going to betray the other one at some point.
I like it.
So then they have another one that is sort of a control point type thing where uh, you drop into the map and I think there's 5 of these control points that your teams control, and this is teams of 4. This is 2 teams of 4 dropping in on the map, and uh, you try to find those control points, activate them, and then keep the other team from capturing them. And the longer you do that, the more points you get. And then once a team gets to a certain number of points, the match ends.
So it's basically King of the Hill, multiple points. Got it.
Basically. And then the biggest mode that they have is 8v8. It's called Heart of the Hive, I believe. Um, and that is another it's a PvE and PvP style game at the same time, because what you do is your 2 teams of 8 drop into the map, and then randomly these a hive, it's just one every time, a hive will spawn, and then the teams have to rush to try to destroy the hive and collect the heart that's inside the hive. And the first team to collect 3 wins. Um, and so what you'll see when you drop in, there'll be a countdown timer, and it will show you where the hive is going to spawn. And it's like every 2 minutes. Uh, once you drop in, after 2 minutes, the hive will spawn. But the teams are rushing there, and then it becomes this sort of mad scramble for who can take control of that area while they're waiting for the hive to spawn. And then once that hive spawns, everybody sort of turns on it just to try to destroy it and capture the hive before the other team. And so the first team to capture 3 of those wins. And those are the 3 basic game modes that they have. Um, there are 10 characters that you can choose from that all have different skills, different weapons, different loadouts, things like that. I've only tried 2 of them right now. One of them is a character that uses a flamethrower. Uh, her name is Summer. And then the other character that I've tried is a robot character who looks sort of like Eve from Wally. And
Okay.
uh, but it's like it has the body style of Eve with the paint job of Wally. If you can picture what that looks like in your mind. And the character's name is Bug, and he uses plants to actually attack. So he has a couple of different things that he can do, and he'll launch out these like seeds, and a plant will grow, and it basically then has an area that it defends, and any enemies that get into that area, it will attack using this like electric based attack.
Okay.
And then he's also has like this poison cloud that he can spew from behind him, so that he can sort of attack enemies that are behind him. This poison. Uh, those are the only, and I've played probably half a dozen matches at this point. Um, but the reaction to this game so far has been very, very mixed from people. Uh, a lot of people are finding it very unbalanced. There's a couple of characters who have significant advantages over some of the others. Uh,
So the it's going to evolve over time, I'm
it
sure.
is. I'm sure they're going to frantically release patches to the games to balance the characters a little better now that it's out in the general public. Um, there will probably be more game modes over time, I would imagine. It has a lot of the free to play stuff that most of these, Overwatch style games have. So it has a battle pass that you can purchase, and there's a free tier and the paid tier. But for right now, they're calling it the preseason, and they're giving everybody access to the paid version of the battle pass for free.
Okay.
So this first season, which isn't really technically what they're calling season one, uh, you can get access to the paid version of the battle pass if you want without having to pay anything. But then, of course, they also have other things that you can just purchase outright without having to deal with the battle pass if you don't want to. Um, I'm not entirely sure yet what I think about the game. I haven't really played enough of it to get a good feel for which characters are more overpowered than the other ones. I want to try to get time with all 10 of the characters to see which ones I like, which ones I don't like. The map is really nice. It's really big. I think it might be a little too big in some cases for like the 4v4 matches, um, because there are a lot of places that you can spawn in. So when you start the game and every time you die, you can actually pick a different point on the map to spawn from, and it gives you like a dozen different choices, and you pick which one you want, and it'll drop you there. So you don't have to uh, run across the entire map every time you die if you don't want. If there's a particular place that you think you need to be on the map, you can click somewhere in that area to kind of get where you need to be quickly. Um,
Hmm.
so this is definitely not going to replace my primary competitive shooter, and that's Paladins. Um, that's the game that I've put tons and tons of time into, and the one sort of really competitive online shooter that I enjoy playing.
Could have been playing Destiny, but no, you had to go with Paladins.
Well, I have Destiny too, and I do drop into Destiny every once in a while and play a mission here and there. Um, but I'm so far behind everybody else. There's no way I'd ever be able to catch up to where you guys are.
Just gotta wait for Destiny 3 to come out, and that way you can be on the same playing field.
So, but that is what I have been playing this week. I'm going to put a little bit more time into it this week and see uh, if I can get a better feel for just how the game plays. Uh, but other than that, unless you have any questions for me, we can take a quick break here and then come back and talk about the news.
No, I'm good. News
All
it
right.
is. Or, well, break and then news, yeah.
So, Ethan, Lego and Nintendo are working together to release some Mario themed Lego sets, right?
Yeah, I remember the commercial trailer, whatever you want to call that YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of like a mix between Mario Maker and Legos.
Yeah, and it was a very animated Mario Lego.
Very. He's got multiple screens. So there's like one in his chest, his eye, his face makes different things. They're very high tech Lego characters. They're not just your regular minifigures. Um, this week it was announced that basically Lego is getting DLC for Mario because
Oh.
because they announced four new power up outfits that you can get for the Mario figure. I think originally when they showed it off, it was just Mario in his red shirt, blue overalls, that thing. Um, but now they have shown off 4 new ones, and they're pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Fire Mario, Propeller Mario, Cat Mario, and then the Builder Mario from Mario Maker.
I'm looking at this and I'm just now realizing, like Lego people, the legs come off and you just put them on a new set of legs, and then you can
Yeah,
swap out the hat.
that's basically
That
exactly what
that
it is.
is all it is. So
And
the animated part just stays together. You can just swap out legs and a hat.
yeah, and each of these different outfits will do different things. They'll make different sounds. I imagine there will be different graphics that pop up on the character depending on what you're doing. Um, but each of these different outfits will be $10 a piece.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's gonna get pricey. These Lego figures are not gonna be cheap.
Oh, they never are to begin with.
Well, that's true. But then when you combine Lego and Nintendo, it's gonna be that much more expensive.
What if there's a secret function they haven't revealed and that this is actually all amiibo?
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it kind of would be.
Where you can just tap it on there and it basically registers as a Mario amiibo.
Oh man, what if
Or
like the playset turns into a map on console?
like it would work with Mario
It,
Maker.
uh, yeah, kind of like you'd be. Oh wow, this is dangerous. I'm not going to say anymore. Stop giving out free ideas. You want that money? You come and, or you want that idea? You come and give me the money and pry it from my cold dead hands, Nintendo.
So we still don't know everything that is going to be released with these Lego sets. But this is the next in the line.
What you want to know? What's not releasing with this Lego sets?
Luigi.
Daisy.
Yep. Well, you get a Goomba and a Koopa Troopa and a Mario.
They gotta have Luigi in the works, right?
Oh, you know they have to. You can't release a Mario, set of toys without Luigi and Peach. Daisy may not get a figure, which would be sad.
Yoshi has.
Yeah, Yoshi has a figure.
My goodness, man.
So, of course, we'll tell you more about all of this Lego stuff as we find out more information about it, and how sad our wallets will be
What if we get
when
a Cappy Mario or one of the other outfits that you don't see, like Tanuki or something?
B Mario.
Yeah, it's in the notes too, in the frog suit.
So, yeah, that's basically it for the Lego set. We just know we're getting 4 new outfits for Mario that are going to each be $10. Namco this week announced some Pac-Man related stuff. It is the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man. Pac-Man is as old as I am.
Ah, you're old.
I am old. I am old. Um, to celebrate, Namco basically put the entire Pac-Man franchise on sale.
I'm glad we just gloss over the sadness there and talk Pac-Man again.
One thing that did come out this week is a new mashup pack for Minecraft featuring Pac-Man, though.
Ooh, that's a good way
Uh,
to spread the Pac-Man.
I was very curious exactly how this was going to work, but it's basically just Pac-Man skins. They released some maps. There's one that's based on like Pac-Land, I think,
Oh,
uh, and also mazes. So you can go in and play inside Pac-Man mazes in Minecraft, which is kind of neat. And they also announced a brand new multiplayer Pac-Man game that I think releases in June. If I'm not forgetting.
that's what you put in the notes.
Uh,
On Twitch.
it is coming to Twitch. It is not coming to consoles or I was going to say PC, but technically it is coming to PC. Um,
It'll probably
but
come to
yes,
consoles eventually.
it is a sort of Mario Maker style game for Pac-Man, but you can also play multiplayer, and I think it's going to be free to play. Don't quote me on that because I don't
I
remember.
recall seeing something like free on Twitch or something. I thought.
Okay.
I thought. I
Yeah, you'll basically just go to the Twitch channel for this game and you'll be able to play it in there. And you'll be able to create maps for your friends to play on. There'll be different multiplayer things that you can do. I'd really like a Pac-Man versus style thing that you can get a bunch of friends together and one of you's Pac-Man and everybody else is the ghosts trying to eat him.
that'd be kind of fun.
So that may be something we'll have to stream at some point because I think that would be fun to play.
I'm trying to confirm the thing we were talking about. Oh, there's
So
also a $40 golden micro cabinet for the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man.
I also saw something about a new arcade one-up Pac-Man machine. I think it's $400.
Thank you, One Up Arcade, for expensive things that I want.
Yeah, they're really good at that. They're very good at that.
I
I
am
st-
not seeing this Pac-Man thing we talked about earlier.
hmm. Okay, well, if you do happen to find it, we can come back to it.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm giving up already.
but you know,
Don't quote me on what we said earlier.
okay, there you go. Uh, 2K is bringing a bunch of games to the Switch, and we're talking like the BioShock collection. Uh, what else was it?
Sport? No, not sports game.
Borderlands.
Thank you.
Borderlands.
Gosh, could not remember that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know why that sort of slipped my mind either. And all of those games are launching on the same day.
Oh, wow.
Uh, yeah. So you can get all three Borderlands games. Is it all three or is it just the first two? I
One,
meant to
two.
say all three BioShock games, and then Borderlands, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel.
There we
Uh,
go.
yeah, so it is three. It is three Borderlands games, but not the three that I was originally thinking of. I meant to say BioShock. It's BioShock, BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite. Then those first three Borderlands games, not Borderlands. Um, People were kind of curious why was 2K basically putting out six brand new games for the Switch all at once. And the chief creative officer from 2K, his name's Sammy Thesman, said, "Well, we've had a huge demand for these games on Switch for some time now. So it was actually because we felt bad we kept everyone waiting this long. In announcing and releasing all these games at the same time, we were able to pull this necessary partnership together more effectively and really establish it. We didn't necessarily have some kind of marketing goal or something like that in mind, but I'm sure it wasn't just a happy coincidence either."
So there
Um,
was demand, and they're like, yeah, sure, why not? And they're
yeah, and
doing it
it
all at the
makes
same time. That's pretty cool.
there's no reason to stretch those games out over time. Just throw them all out there to let people get them. And I think,
They realize they have an audience that wants their games there, so they're doing it.
yeah, and I think each of them come in bundles that are $50 for the separate, so
I
you can get
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
the three BioShock games for $50, three Borderlands games for $50, or you can of course get them all individually as well.
Hmm.
Um, and having those on the Switch would be really nice. Like I'd probably play through some Borderlands on the Switch. I'd probably play a little bit of BioShock, but I can't play BioShock Infinite. I get really sick when I play that game.
I haven't played that one.
All the zipping around on those zip lines and trying to shoot just made me sick every time I tried to play it. So,
Kind of
I
like Metroid Prime 3.
yeah, Metroid Prime 3, I have the same problem. There aren't many of the first-person shooters that give me issues with like motion sickness, but those in particular really do. Uh,
Weird.
so, uh, we learned something rather interesting this week about the original Assassin's Creed game. And this was just sort of a bit of random information that came out. Charles Randall is a former Ubisoft employee who worked on the first two Assassin's Creed games, and basically said that Assassin's Creed 1 was done, was ready to ship, and one of the management gave the game to their son to play
The
it.
CEO.
Oh yeah, so it was I guess it was Yves Guillemot gave it to his son, and his son basically just said the game's boring and there was nothing to do. So in 5 days, they threw all of the side missions together and put them in the game.
And it kind of shows.
A little bit. That first game is not really good. It's definitely a proof of concept for the Assassin's Creed franchise, and they took everything from that game and made it 10 times better in the second. Uh,
Yeah, 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 I'll agree to that.
So, it wasn't like a horrible game, but it's really hard to go back and play that first
Oh
Assassin's
gosh, is
Creed
it?
game.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
you
if
could,
they didn't have that stuff, that game would have probably bombed really bad.
it very well could have. So maybe we need to thank this kid for playing the game and telling his dad it was boring.
Oh man,
Because we did end up getting a
I
bit.
want to hear more stories like this now.
Yeah, it's fun little stories like this that I like to hear. Um, so
One of my
I'm,
favorites is when Kojima was working on Metal Gear Solid, and he's using Legos as the level structuring thing. Like, all right, we got a building here in this, and it's like bring your kid to work day, and the kid goes home and is like, "Mom, Dad was playing with toys at work."
I mean, that's a sort
Yeah,
of a
he really was.
that's sort of a genius way though to be able to play through a level a little bit, get
Yeah,
a feel for what it's going to look
yeah,
like.
you can even map it out based on the size of the Lego. It's like, all right, this is this big in the game world, so that's how we know this. So
Yeah.
it
And
works.
you can make changes really quickly and try that out and see what it looks like. So, yeah, it's I love little behind the scenes stories like that. Um our last one,
Ooh,
our last news story is about free games, and it's sort of been the spring of free games uh this year. Uh Epic has, over the last 2 weeks, given out two really big titles in GTA 5 and Civilization 6. And they've got another surprise title that they're going to be giving away for free this Thursday. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to be.
yeah. I also heard the Civ 6 servers are overloaded right now.
Oh, yeah. I saw that too. I've seen a couple of people talking about that on Twitter, where trying to play that game online is almost impossible right now. So Twitch, though, will be giving away a bunch of games, 22 games specifically this summer from SNK.
Nice.
And they're actually, I think, going to drop them in three separate waves. The first one is actually this week on Tuesday.
Okay.
And that bundle of games they'll be giving away is Art of Fighting 2, Blazing Star, Fatal Fury Special, King of Fighters 2000 and King of Fighters 2002, Polestar, and Samurai Showdown 2.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty good list of games to start off with right there. And then some other games that they've talked about, we don't know when they're going to be or the full list of games, but Garou Mark of the Wolves, Last Blade 2, Metal Slug 2, King of Fighters 98, Ultimate Match Final Edition. That's Street Fighter level of title right there.
Right.
Uh, and Sengoku 3 and King of the Monsters,
Cool.
which that last one I'm really interested in playing.
I actually have King of Fighters 98 for my MVS.
Do you?
Yeah, so I have an arcade version of this game.
There you go.
A physical
You'll
arcade cartridge, we'll say.
you'll be able to get it for free on Twitch soon.
Nice. I
So
won't have
there
to
you
go
go.
through all the loop or hoops to play it on my TV either.
Yeah.
Uh,
When we find out the other titles, we'll let people know what those are and what days they'll be dropping as well.
they'll probably be similar to King of Fighters or Fatal Fury.
Yeah.
I think those are actually
Uh,
the same thing, aren't they? Anyway,
that is it for the news. So let's move on to listener feedback. We got a couple this week.
wow, we got feedback. Yay.
First one comes from Cole via Facebook, who wants to know, with so many remakes coming out recently, which game or games would you like to see get a remake or remaster? He said get or not get. Is there a game you don't want to see get remade?
Oh, I'm sure there's a few I could probably think of at some point here or
Well,
there.
there's, the one that tops my list every time anybody asks about this, and that's Drill Dozer. I want
Yep,
an H.
Tony does not want Drill Dozer remade.
That is not true. I want an HD remake or a brand new Drill Dozer game. Quit making Pokemon for a while
Oh my
and
gosh, yeah, seriously. If anything, stop making Pokemon or Red and Blue. I'm tired of it. Ah. I said it earlier, Super Mario RPG. I would love a remake of that.
Mhm.
Like I said, with the claymation thing, that would be adorable and awesome. Um, as for anything outside that, I mean, Mass Effect, which there's rumors going around that the trilogy's getting a remake or re-release or something on PS4. So if that happens, I'll be very happy with that. But anything that I don't want made, that's a little tougher.
I don't know. The other ones that there's another game that I keep talking about a lot, and that is Skyward Sword. I would love to see that game in HD. Because that game looked really good on the Wii, but it needs to get that HD treatment because that visual style would look really, really nice on the Switch.
It would be nicer to see further without the kaleidoscope effect as well.
Exactly. And they could take some of the mechanics from Breath of the Wild and apply that retroactively so we can get rid of the bad stamina bar from Skyward Sword and replace it with a good stamina bar from Breath of the Wild.
Or just replace it with an actual stamina bar, not this weird circle meter that's like, what does this thing do?
Oh, the circle's fine. I mean,
No,
they
it's
just
not.
they just took the bar and connected the ends together, basically.
It's like you have your hearts up in the top left corner. Put a bar under there. That's your green stamina bar. It worked for Dark Souls. It works for Zelda. Just do it.
So, Drill Dozer and Skyward Sword are the two that always top my list for games I want to see remade.
You know, it's not out yet, but I would love a remake of it already.
What?
The Seinfeld game.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, go to
I
YouTube. I'm not putting it on here. It's oh man, I can't take click or hits or I can't take views away from one that the video. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So, and then also on Facebook today, I put out the call for listener feedback, and I said, "Are there any things you want to talk to or want us to talk about? Any songs you want Ethan to sing?" And Nathan answered that call, and he wants you to sing "Down with the Sickness" by Disturbed.
Tony, you failed to mention that I'm very tone deaf.
I That's beside the point.
So you're wanting me to torture people, is what you're saying.
You don't have to.
I really wasn't planning to. I mean, you heard me trying to just listen to the song earlier, and if my if my hunch is correct, I think Nathan just wants to hear me do that opening thing that the guy does.
Ooh, ah,
Yeah, that.
ah.
And I think if I tried to do that right now, one, it would hurt my throat, and
And
two,
you
I don't want
cat.
to.
You cat, and
No, where are the okay? There's no cat in here now. I think. Yeah, yeah. There's no cat in here right now. So
well, there you go. So, well, all right. We will not get Ethan uh, giving us his rendition of "Down with the Sickness." But that's someday we'll make it happen.
what was that on? That they had. Oh man. Hold on. It was on the Team 4 Star video. They had Nappa singing it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's bugging me. I can't remember it.
I don't know. You got me. So, well,
I have to look that up. That's great now. Thanks, Nathan.
that will, though, be the show for this week. So, thank you very much, Ethan, for being here.
I still can't remember it. The show's ending. Darn it.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.